We're continuing on with the James Craig trial, and we're getting into some super cringy, super bad text messages in today's video.
Hey, 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 welcome to the Sofa Squad, sipping from the cup at hey.
Now hold on everybody, let's do a quick sofa sidebar now. Keep in mind, ain't no cop, ain't no doctor, ain't no lawyer, ain't no therapist, ain't none of that fancy credentialed stuff, okay? Only credentials we got up in here is my sass, and this sofa. Now keep in mind also, I'm just giving my opinions on very public information, so do your own research, come to your own opinions, and drop them off in the comment section. And while you're down there, if you do like what you see here at the Sofa Squad, drop a little like, drop a little comment, drop a little share. It helps the channel out immensely. Now let's get edition. Hello Sofa Squad, and welcome back to the sofa. That's the sofa. This is Paul. My name is Paul if you're new to the channel. If you're not new to the channel, well, my name's still Paul. Okay. Now today, like I said, we're continuing on with the James Craig trial. We're going to be getting into some of these super cringe text messages. Don't worry, they're super cringe Google searches. Basically everything about this is, okay? Now the center of this case is Angela. This is the victim. This was his wife. This is the mother of his 6 children. And the defense would have you think, and James wants you to believe, that Angela wanted to unalive herself. And this is basically how we ended up here, okay? So we've learned so far that's absolutely not the case at all. Her own kids have gotten on the stand and absolutely been like, no, this is not who our mother was, right? So that being said, this case is not being televised. And so if you want to get those nuances of somebody there in person, there's a couple of people that are there. Lauren from Hidden True Crime is there. She does her daily updates and that type thing. Also, lawyer Lee is there and does the same thing. I've been following Denver 7's live updates here on this channel doing it, and the podcast channel. Over there, we go live a few times a week. We catch up on this case and other things as well. So we're caught up to date depending on when you're watching this over there. So just check it out. Things in the description. Good Lord, let's get into these text messages. Again, now this is like, I think day 4 of the test or the trial or whatever, okay? Again, buckle up because today's stuff is super uncomfortable, super cringy text messages. All the things, right? And again, if you've been following this, we're back to that email account, gemandwaffles@gmail.com, right? So let's get into it. The state would kick things off with witness number 21. Now this was Angel Ammerine. She worked at Craig's Aurora Dental office for about 6 months. Now, she said that she handled a little bit of everything, okay? But she said she usually didn't deal with the packages. Now, still, she somehow gets looped into a very specific delivery that Craig was waiting on. If you've been following, I'm talking about it's the cyanide, okay? Now, the prosecutor would walk the jury through a series of text messages from March 9th and 10th, 2023. Now, these were between Craig and Ammerine, where he asked her to keep the office door open because a priority package was gonna arrive or whatever. Now, he described it as possibly a small box or a padded envelope, and she asked if it might be just like sitting in the mailbox, and Craig said, no, it wouldn't come through regular mail. He said that he hadn't gotten the tracking info yet and whatnot. Now, remember, we've seen the other side of this testimony of the place where he got this package from and him trying to go there and get it and complaining about shipping and all this type of stuff, right? Other staff had already testified that they believed the package was labeled as potassium cyanide, but Ammerine said that she was never told what was in it. Now, the next day, March 11th, there's a group chat between Craig and the office staff, and it shows him asking if anybody could unlock the building, right? So she offers to let him swing by and get her key to go do it. Now, he told her that he had to go home first to get a clean outfit for Angela, and that he would stop by there shortly. Again, what's the big rush in this mystery packages, right? We're all dying to know, right? So she said that he was acting like he wanted to pick it up, okay? We all know why he was rushing to do it, okay? Because he couldn't get rid of his wife fast enough, literally. So the defense tries to downplay this, right? And they're like, look, Craig, never hid his interest in the package or needing a key, but as the prosecutors would point out, just because he didn't hide it doesn't mean he explained it either. So when they asked if Craig ever told her that it was cyanide, she said no, he did not. Now, she also confirmed that cyanide wouldn't be used in any of their implant classes, right? Because remember, he was like, I need it for a seminar, I need it for a seminar. There's all that laid out. Now, next up on the stand was the Aurora Police Detective Molly Harris, who's part of the Major Crimes Unit. Now, she's been with the department since 2019, but has over 10 years in law enforcement, okay? Now, she would lay out the digital trail that tied an email account allegedly belonging to James, the Gem and Waffles Gmail. Now, again, this is where he did all his dirty work, right? Now, investigators connected connected that account to an Amazon purchase made on February 27th, 2023 for arsenic metal. Like, you can buy anything on Amazon. Like, what is this, right? Now, it was delivered the next day, and that same email was also linked to a new Amazon account, and it was started the very day that the arsenic was ordered. But there's more, okay? So his daughter, earlier in the trial, if you remember, she got up there talking about her dad asking her to make a deep fake video of Angela, saying that she asked him to order those chemicals, okay? And he told her that the video should look like it was filmed on February 27th, the exact day the arsenic order went through. He thought he was smart, okay? He thought he was smart, right? But he wasn't, okay? Then came the forensic search of the computer from exam room number 9. Remember, this is the one that he allegedly used after hours that the staff was like, why is he sitting in there? Like, what is he doing in there, right? Okay. I'll tell you what he was doing in there. I'm just going to read off in like a bullet point format here a few of the browser histories, okay? Number 1, is there such a thing as an undetectable poison? Just that one alone. Where's the gavel? We need to hold the gavel. Okay, we're at the gavel. Case closed. We're at case closed level with just that one alone, okay? And there's plenty more, but that one, right? We're going to save the taxpayers some money on this one. Could have done this after opening statements right here, okay? We're not even setting this back down. We need this prop. This is handy, okay? So let's go on to the next one. So, how to make poison from oleander. How many grams of pure arsenic will kill a human? How to make a murder look like a heart attack. Tetrahydrolazine poisoning timeline. You know, these are just like normal dental research things, okay? Honestly shocked we didn't see how to fill cavity, how to administer Novocaine. I'm telling you, I don't know how this guy even got his degree. The fact in these searches, I haven't ever done that, and I would be nervous to type that in my Google. Even though like the world that we live in here in true crime, it's like, I mean, please, right? You can only imagine like our Google searches and stuff, right? But if you're planning on killing somebody, why on earth would you ever actually go? And I get why you would. You want to know, right? Like the temptation's there. Like, how long does this take to do? But like, no, absolutely no. You don't enter these Google searches ever. You figure it out as you go, right? Off grid. I mean, come on, right? Anyways, the defense would point out that there's like no way to confirm who was using the computer, okay, during the searches, right? So who knows, right? It could be anybody. But Harris said the evidence tied it to Craig's office, and all the timing does line up. Okay, let's now look at Angela's search history, which is very different than what her husband's is. So Angela Craig's phone, her phone search history in there, it includes things like, and again, I'm going to do like a bullet point little format here. Why too much vitamin B? Pre-workout supplement made me dizzy. Many seizures. Cold lips and body shakes. Can the flu cause vertigo? Internal tremors and chills. Now, keep in mind, none of those searches were about unaliving oneself, poison, depression, anything like this at all, okay? Angela's final search, March 15th, was looking for an emergency room on Colfax. That was the same day she was declared brain dead. Now, after the lunch break, they would go into these text messages between James and Angela. They were very personal. Now, these messages were presented to show the state of their marriage, basically, right? Possibly motive, that type of thing. Angela was saved as mom in James's phone, and he was saved as the boy in hers, which is interesting, right? The texts start back in December 2022 with Angela writing out, quote, "Don't come home, I don't want you here." Now, she would go on to say that she'd been hopeful that things would work out until he destroyed that hope with another betrayal, and she made it very clear that she knew about the affair. And I'll quote her again, "You had a month to save your marriage, I hope she was worth it," end quote. Now, James would reply that she wasn't worth it, that he only used the other woman to stroke his ego. And then Angela responded to that with, quote, "Maybe her validation can fill the void your family left behind," end quote there. The text messages continued into January and February, with James expressing things like, guilt, regret. He would say things like, "I just love you so much. Thanks for being my wife." All the usual trappings that we see here, right? Now, on March 1st, a message from him read, quote, "I feel like I'm trying to be better every day, and every step forward comes with 2 steps back," end quote. Now, Angela replied that protecting him mattered more than venting, but also said it's time to find a therapist. Now, prosecutors would say around that same time, Craig then meets a woman named Karen Kane. This is the dentist from Texas. Remember that she got wrapped up into this mess too, where they met at the conference in Vegas and all that. Okay, so they began a deep emotional relationship according to the state. And at one point, Craig texts her and says, "The problem is that I might be completely in love with you after 3 days," end quote. Now let's get on to some more stuff here. So texts from March 8th would show that Craig told Angela that he'd bring her whatever food she wanted and that he was kind of feeling a smoothie. Not exactly sinister on its own, of course, but yeah, when we know what was going on here, we can now see why he was suggesting the smoothies, right? Now, Angela later texts James saying that she felt drugged. Okay, imagine that, right? Now, then came emails from the infamous Jim and Waffles account again, right? This is where Craig follows up on an order for oleandrin. Now, this is the extract from the toxic oleander plant. And this is where the one we hear, another one, where he was like super upset that the shipment was late, you know, and all the stuff or whatever. And he gives the company like this long explanation, you know, when the company questioned, like, how are you planning on using this, right? This is not something that people take lightly ordering it. It's like, what is this for, right? And then he's making a stink about it, again, like drawing all this attention to himself, okay? Then they get the final witness of the day, which is Ryan Redfern. Now remember, Ryan Redfern was the friend, the colleague who called him out, I know it's cyanide, and basically put all the things together, right, when he learned of this. So the prosecutor's final witness of the day was him. Okay, now remember, the Redferns and the Craigs were very close, okay? Like they all had these things going on, and they entered a business agreement to help manage Craig's practice. But by late 2022, even that's unraveling, right? James has his finances in a total mess, and he was basically told, like, you're gonna have to take a pay cut and fewer vacations. Like, you poor little thing, right? Now, Redfern would testify that when Angela was in ICU, this is when he got that phone call from one of James's employees saying they believed that a package of potassium cyanide had been delivered to the dental office. Then Redfern like immediately starts Googling cyanide poisoning symptoms, and he notifies the hospital staff, right? This is when he's like, I think this is what's going on. They connect him with the forensic nurse, and he shares everything he knew at that point. Now later, this is when Craig called him. Remember, we talked about this in a previous video, and the conversation goes like this, and I'll read between Redfern and James. So Redfern: Jim, what was in the package? James: it's not that big of a deal. Redfern: Jim, it was potassium cyanide. Why do you need potassium cyanide? James: Ryan, what have you done? What have you done? Now, James eventually claims it was a game of chicken with Angela. We already kind of like went over all this, right? And that she was wanting to unalive herself, but you know, she couldn't order it herself. So he got it to prove a point. Now, Redfern would tell the court that he got a super lengthy text message from James the next morning, basically talking about, you know, look, please don't share this information. Please don't share our conversation, all this stuff. So that's where we're going to leave today's video off of that. Obviously, I have some things to say. Again, how quickly his house of cards fell apart. Now, I'm not complaining about that part because obviously it brings everything to light. But the Redfern situation where Redfern called him out and was like, we know that you didn't get Angela a ring. That's not what the package was. It was cyanide. And when he quickly gaslights him and that whole thing of like, what have you done, Ryan? What have you done? And then that's bad enough. But then to text the next morning talking about, you know, we're really friends, all this, you won't say anything, and blah, 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 blah. In addition to being so obvious, why would somebody think that all these innocent people are willing to cover up? Right? And again, all these people had a lot of respect and admiration for Angela. Another thing it makes me think too is like, and this is like two categories here. Okay, so the way that the employees started like piecing this together and being like, well, it was cyanide and it was this, it makes you wonder, and I'm not trying to say that they would have covered up for him if he was nice, because I think they would have put this together or whatever, but it almost makes you wonder, was he a horrible human being to work for? I mean, I would think so, right? And so it's almost like gave them more incentive to be like, we're looking to get him at any turn, right? This package thing is weird. He's being weird. What's going on? He was so obvious that the staff and colleagues and Ryan and friends, everybody very quickly put it together, right? Because it's just like, he put it, to me, in my opinion, just right out on the table for him of, here's all this information. This is what I'm doing. It doesn't take much to connect the dots on it, right? And also keep in mind, if you think that this has turned up how far we've gotten into it over here, y'all, it keeps getting worse. Okay. It's so obvious what he did. His level of just nonchalance flaunting about it. I don't know if I've seen one like it before. So anyways, let me know what you think down in the comment section. While you're down there, if you could, drop some little weird pillows off, some little sofas off for Roscoe and Spirit, Bo and Luke, myself, and you, the Sofa Squad. So I'll have a place to sit and hang out, talk about this case, all the other crazy stuff we talk about here at the Sofa Squad. And until we gather down there to do that, I'll see y'all soon.
I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. And then like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Roscoe on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hey, welcome to the Sofa Squad. Sipping from the cup that hey, come laugh with the Sofa Squad. Can't roll my damn eyes hard enough.